Welcome to DSP's Biochemistry channel. Today's talk is about hyperuricemia and gout. In this session, the causes, pathogenesis, types, treatment and dietary management of hyperuricemia and gout are discussed. The highlighting features of this video is about the updated information related to hyperuricemia and gout are referred, that is it's taken from the textbook and the latest articles from Science Direct journals. Gout is an inherited metabolic disorder of purine catabolism. It is characterized by excessive formation of uric acid in blood. Hyperuricemia. Okay. The normal serum uric acid is 3 to 7 milligram per dl. If the level increases beyond 7 milligram per dl, it leads to hyperuricemia. This hyperuricemia causes deposition of monosodium urate crystals in joints and tendons, causing severe pain and muscular disorders. Gout affects 3 per 1000 persons, predominantly males. Kidneys are also affected due to excess excretion and deposition of uric acid in renal tubules. The main causes and risk factors of gouts are many. First, it is increased consumption of purine-rich food. Purine-rich food means red meat, seafoods, alcohol and high fructose corn syrup. All this will lead to gout. Then overproduction of purine nucleotides, decreased excretion of uric acid. Age is also one of the factor. Older age people are more affected with gout compared to young people. Gender, males are more prone to gout than females. Genetic factors plays a major role. Then medical complications like diabetes, obesity, kidney disorders, cardiovascular disease and hypertension is also one of the major risk factors for gout formation. Then drugs and medications also play a role. Mainly the aspirin, diuretics and chemotherapeutic drugs are risk factors for gout. Gouty arthritis. It is a genetically disorder. It is classified as an auto-inflammatory disease caused by innate immune disorder, and it is the most common first symptom of gout. Recent studies have shown that node-like receptor protein 3, in shortly it is called NLRP3 inflammasome, can be activated by uric acid crystallization, triggering immune inflammation and cause acute gouty arthritis symptoms. Okay. So uric acid, as we all know that excess of serum uric acid is a major reason for hyperuricemia and gout. Okay, this uric acid is the excretory end product of purine catabolism in primates, birds and other reptiles. Uric acid is sparingly soluble in water. Hence, birds, reptiles and other insects excrete uric acid in the form of paste. The rate of uric acid excretion is about 0.6 gram per 24 hours and the normal reference range is 3 to 7 milligram per dl. Okay. It's a well-known fact that the biochemical basis of gout is increased uric acid, that is hyperuricemia. When you see the pathogenesis of gout formation, excess of serum uric acid is the main cause for gout formation. This excess uric acid under a physiological pH of 7.4, it will be converted into urate ions which will react with sodium, forming monosodium urate crystals, okay, which will get accumulated in the joints, triggering gouty inflammation through the activation of nucleotide binding and oligomerization domain-like receptor, leucine-rich repeat and pyrene domain containing 3. Shortly it is called as NLRP3, inflammasome mediated interleukin 1 beta production. The increased expression of this NL or P3 in peripheral blood mononuclear cells of patients is involved in the pathogenesis of acute gouty arthritis. NLRP3 gene polymorphism is closely related to the onset of primary gout, and it plays a key role in the process of inflammation. So recently it is discovered that this NLRP3 plays a major role in the formation of inflammation in gouty arthritis. So the relation between uric acid and gout is excess production of hypoxanthine leads to xanthine formation. Due to excess activity of xanthine oxidase, more amount of uric acid will be produced. When it exceeds more than 8 mg per dl in the plasma, it crystallizes as urate crystal and gets accumulated in joints, soft tissues, cartilage and kidney, forming gout. Okay. This sodium urate or uric acid also precipitate in kidneys and ureters in the form of stones, resulting in renal damage and urinary tract obstruction. Okay. This is excess of uric acid will be, crystals will be accumulated in the joints, causing tophy. Okay. So this is an picture of a classic tophy. Here excess of uric acid is accumulated, crystallizes and deposited in this region, joint region. This condition is called as podagra. That is, it affects the metatarsal joint of the big toe, producing pain, tenderness, redness, swollen and heat, which will last more than a few days, which will last for a week also. Okay, the pain will last for a week. Here in this picture, this patient has a classic appearance of tophy, including irregular shape, whitish material seen under the skin of the distal second toe. First toe shows overlying increased vascularity. Types of gout. There are mainly two types of gout: primary gout and secondary gout. Primary gout is mainly caused due to increased PRPP synthase activity and inherited deficiency of the enzyme HGPRT or inherited deficiency of glucose 6 phosphatase. All this will lead to formation of primary gout. In the case of increased PRPP synthase activity, it stimulates, the excess of PRPP synthase activity will stimulate the de novo synthesis of purine nucleotides, which will lead to excess production of purine nucleotides, which are then catabolized to produce more amount of uric acid, resulting in hyperuricemia and gout. PRPP is phosphoribosyl pyrophosphate synthase activity. The second factor for causing primary gout is inherited deficiency of HGPRT. HGPRT is hypoxanthine guanine phosphoribosyl transferase. Due to deficiency of this HGPRT, a salvage pathway will not be taking place. So, it will reduce the utilization of PRPP in the salvage pathway, and the unutilized purines are degraded to uric acid, resulting in hyperuricemia and gout. Then inherited deficiency of glucose 6 phosphatase also a reason for formation of primary gout. This glucose 6 phosphatase is an enzyme defect in von Gierke disease. So the glucose 6 phosphate, which is produced in excess amount, cannot be dephosphorylated to glucose and gets accumulated in the liver. This excess glucose 6 phosphate takes up HMP shunt, where it generates ribose 5 phosphate, which is a main precursor for PRPP. PRPP in turn will increases the de novo synthesis of purine nucleotides, resulting which gets catabolized. These excess purine nucleotides so formed will be catabolized to yield more amount of uric acid, resulting in hyperuricemia and gout. Then secondary gout. It is due to secondary increase in purine catabolism in conditions like polycythemia, leukemia, prolonged fasting, cancer and psoriasis. Secondary renal gout occurs due to chronic renal insufficiency and defective glomerular filtration of urate. In cancer and leukemia and lymphoma, what happens means rapid cell turnover taking place, which will result in large amount of purine due to less degradation of cellular nucleic acids. So the produced purine are not completely salvaged and they are catabolized to form huge amount of uric acid, resulting in hyperuricemia and gout. Okay. Since uric acid is less soluble in water, its excess formation leads to gout. So this is TOFI. Okay. Excess accumulation of uric acid crystals will result in a condition called TOFI. Treatment. Currently, the treatment of gout includes two basic methods: reducing uric acid and alleviating inflammation. So here it uses either anti-inflammatory drugs, mainly NSAIDs or DMARDs. NSAIDs is non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug and DMARDs is disease modifying anti-rheumatic drugs. Okay. Then using supplementation of uricosuric drugs can also help to treat gout. Then xanthine oxidase inhibitors like allopurinol and febostat will be useful for the treatment of gout. Okay. So using competitive inhibitors of xanthine oxidase like allopurinol and febostat will be helpful to treat gout. So this allopurinol reduces the synthesis of uric acid by inhibiting the enzyme xanthine oxidase. Allopurinol and febostat become the first line drugs for gout treatment. Allopurinol is ineffective in acute attack of gout and is commonly used for the treatment of intermittent gout or chronic gout. Febostat, a specific xanthine oxidase inhibitor, is superior to allopurinol in efficacy and is suitable for allergic or intolerable patients during allopurinol treatment. It may cause abnormal liver function and trigger acute cardiovascular events. Use of non-specific anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen, naproxen, colchicine, glucocorticoids can be used to relieve acute attack of gouty arthritis. Studies have shown that prophylactic administration of colchicine can effectively reduce the frequency and severity of acute gout attack before the use of allopurinol to reduce uric acid in patients with gout. Use of uricosuric drugs. Okay, uricosuric drug is an agent that enhances the renal excretion of uric acid. By specifically, it will inhibit the tubular reabsorption and secretion of uric acid. Example, salicylates, probenecid and halofenate are used to decrease the serum uric acid level. So in salicylate, in low dosage of 1 to 2 gram per day, these salicylates cause uric acid retention, but in higher dosage of about 5 to 6 gram per day, it has got uricosuric effect, but it has got more side effects. Long-term usage is not advisable as it has got more side effects. Probenecid, it is efficient and a harmless drug. It lowers the uric acid level. Halofenate, it's a good uricosuric drug. Hypolipemic effect. It is safe for the usage of long-term and short-term therapy. It liberates urates from urate binding sites of proteins of plasma and removes uric acid by normal excretion. Therapeutic diet for gout prevention and management. A vegetarian diet may be a promising dietary pattern that target multiple pathways in the gout pathogenesis. Vegetarians avoid purine-rich meat and seafood while consuming more vegetables, whole grains, seeds and nuts. Plant foods contain polyphenols that may reduce uric acid by inhibiting xanthine oxidase activities and enhancing uric acid excretion, and phytochemicals that may attenuate the NLRP3 pathway. In addition, vegetarian diets have been shown to reduce gout associated comorbidities such as hypertension, diabetes and cardiovascular diseases. Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. This is also one of the major cause for hyperuricemia and gout. It is an inherited metabolic disorder of purine salvage pathway. The inherited deficiency of HGPRT enzyme results in Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. It is also known as Nyhan syndrome or juvenile gout. It's an X-linked recessive disorder. It affects only male. Due to the complete deficiency of HGPRT, the hypoxanthine and guanine purines cannot be salvaged and not reutilized in Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. The unutilized purines are catabolized to yield large amount of uric acid, resulting in hyperuricemia and gout. Lesch-Nyhan syndrome is characterized by gouty arthritis, neurological disorders, mainly mental retardation, aggressive and self-mutilating behaviors, and urate nephropathy. The affected children frequently bite their lips and fingers violently and will have mental aberrations. Prognosis of patients with Lesch-Nyhan syndrome is poor, and most of the patients will die at an early age due to urate nephropathy. So here, due to the absence of HGPRT enzyme, hypoxanthine and guanine cannot be salvaged into IMP and GMP, leading to Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. So these are the signs and symptoms of this Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. Some of the references. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you.